Hey, what up, y'all? Justin Gay, Seeds of Xanadu, out here with my weed whacker and my row. As you can see, I've already kind of whacked up a little bit of that. So what I'm going to be doing is actually showing you guys how easy it is now to clear a row. The idea now is I've already harvested these rows about 3 times, which is pretty cool for this time of year, I must add. I'm gonna go ahead and weed whack this stuff down. Then what I'm gonna do is cover it up with an 80% shade cloth, something that doesn't let a lot of light in here. Come back next week. I should only need a rake in order to clean these beds up, making my job a lot easier. So that's the idea. Gonna go ahead and knock these things down, and then see y'all in about a week. All right, that's pretty much done. Now I'm just gonna cover. I've actually heard Farmer Jesse, I think his flame weeder, to go over these things, to cauterize the tops of them like that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go ahead and let them just die on their own. We get hot enough out here. It gets pretty hot out there too in Kentucky, I think. But nevertheless, the last time I did it like this, it was pretty much perfect. I just came back to a bunch of crispiness. So hopefully that happens again. So I'm just gonna put the shade cloth on there. Dope. 2 rows, 1 shade cloth. That's awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and let that just ride underneath there, at least for the first week for row number 10. Row 11 will actually probably go another week underneath the shade cloth. That way we'll keep it into succession. To be honest with you, there's a really good chance we actually might start clearing out a couple of rows over there for where our tomatoes are. I might end up just seeding that row and then letting these guys go for another 2 to 3 weeks, and then really making sure that this stuff in there is dead. But for the course of the video, we'll try for 1 week. Oh yeah, the temperatures right now are right about from 96 to right about 100. So what did I come over here for? It's Wednesday. It's time to go and knock out those rows over there. Gotta find, I'll get my rakes and stuff. That's what I was coming over here for. I must say, things are looking good, y'all. Check it. Look at the microgreen, just one of these guys. They're feeling all foxy. Love it. Got the lettuce in. We lost rows 2 and 3. Well, I mean, I did get some stuff off of them, but not nearly the weight that I wanted them to be. But I got something. Nevertheless, I just decided that what I'm going to do is put transplants in here on rows 1, 2, and 3 and see how that works. We've been getting these really cool overcast days. So I actually bought out my stirrup hoe to actually help me out knocking out some of this stuff underneath these tarps. Dude, I gotta get some of those cucumbers over there. They actually seem to do pretty well in the market. They're actually pretty good. So yeah, I bought my stirrup hoe out here just because it's been a little bit more moist. Like I said, we've been overcast a little bit more, which has been nice. I like it. These times, man, they used to really screw me up back in the day. I used to think, and I think partly because I would watch so many different people in so many different countries, even though temperature-wise, they'd be a lot like California, their climate was a lot different than California, right? So right now, they seem to be legitimately getting cooler, while we just are gonna have a couple cool days. But I used to jump on that, man, and think that was just gospel. And I'm over here getting ready for winter. Yeah, it screwed me up before. Now, you know, I know that these are just a couple days, a little bit of a break, if you will. Yeah, it's not gonna last. We're gonna get back into like the hundreds and the high 90s. We'll eventually, this is where I like to call the flicker. It's kind of like we're starting that thing where it's going hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And we're really gonna start seeing that, I think, next month, really. So we got a little bit of time with this warmth. So I'm really using a lot of that to my advantage. We'll go get the C-stand for you guys so I can get to work. Well, it seemed to have worked. Check it out. So it's pretty well knocked down, but I don't think a rake is going to be enough this time around. So let's check it out. A rake might work. Last time I did it, it was really hot. Like I said, it's been a little bit cooler. So I don't know if it's gonna work right now. Well, you know, I'm gonna try it. Let's see. Quite a bit of it does come up, but quite a bit of it does stay down as well. So I'm just gonna take the circle hoe too. Regardless, this stuff, it's coming up a lot easier. So that makes things easier. Yeah, dude, even though I did use this, it's a lot easier to get this stuff up already. Yeah, I can move through this stuff way faster. Peep game. That's all from that wall area. And literally, that's just me pulling back with the circle hoe. So this is real easy, guys. Cool. We'll go ahead and knock these things out. All right, y'all. So to get this row in this shape, took me right about 6 minutes. Pretty dope, dude. So I definitely would say it's faster. I can actually plant in this if I wanted to. I will probably go through it one more time. It's just how I am. I rake and rake and I rake more than I probably need to a lot of times. One cool thing about this this technique. That's pretty much 100% residue. This is 100% residue. Not to mention, I don't have to bend over. I didn't bend over once to get this to look like this. So that's just that alone is worth it to me. But yeah, check it, dude. Like, there's no, I'm not sending any of my inputs back out to get recomposted. I'm able to leave way more of that in my bed, which is what I've always wanted to do. Yeah, this is awesome, man. Way faster, at least for me. Nice. All right, let's see what bed 11 looks like. Pretty much looking the same way. If I had more space, to be honest with you, that would mean that I wouldn't have to have these rows in production as fast. Man, I would just honestly let these things sit underneath here for as long as I could, man. If it could be even like a month or 2 weeks, dude. But imagine being able to let these things sit underneath here for 2 weeks. How much easier the work would have been. Yeah, this is dope, dude. And all I'm using is just really this leaf rake and this stirrup hoe. Very little work on my body. This is awesome, dude. It always surprises me how cool this technique is, because I don't really get to do it that often, because I do run a kind of like a turn and burn here because we are so small. Because we lost these crops, it threw me out of succession to where I didn't have to plant these crops out immediately. So because of that, I'm able to use this technique, and dude, it's awesome, man. I wish I had more space so I can do this with all my rows. Let me knock this guy out too. I find coming at kind of an angle actually allows the blade to catch the root a little bit easier and cut it off to where you want to shank it off. Another thing is too, this thing is actually kind of dull. I need to go and sharpen this up, but I'm gonna knock this thing out anyway. But with one of these extremely sharp, dude, even easier to get through this stuff, man. So now that I've already done that row, what I'm gonna do is, again, just come through with the leaf rake. That does, I find, is it just makes it to where I'm not accumulating more and more organic matter on the bed. So when I rake it through once, for the most part, I'm getting all of it, right? Then of course I'm gonna do it again to the next row, then the row after that. So I'm constantly just raking the bed. Like I said, nevertheless, I constantly will rake a row back and forth. It's almost like OCD, it's crazy. Getting away from it, man, because it's just extra work. I'll go ahead and rake that and then repeat the process. Also, if I halo hoe in one direction, I like to rake in the opposite direction. It is a habit for me to actually just want to rake in the same direction as I did halo hoe, but it is better to go the opposite direction. The way I like to do it is I'll halo hoe coming up, then I'll rake going back, then I'll rake it again coming back up, get the halo hoe, and repeat the process. I find that really helps clear out the row really well, and then I'm not really leaving any residual residue. Like I said, it goes pretty fast. Again, only on a 30-foot row here. If you're on a 50-foot row, of course, it's going to be longer. Too small to get any kind of BCS. I've thought about having some of those walk behind wheel hoes, but I don't know that I need one now. I don't know. The biggest reason I was going to get that was just for my back. And now that I have this going, you know what I mean? And it's that much faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with the wheel hoe, I'd still have to come behind it and rake it up. I'm doing that now all at the same time, kinda. I don't know, dude. About 6 minutes. Yeah. And that was with setting you guys up, but for the most part, we'll just say 6 minutes. For the further rows in the back, I rake it in kind of towards the middle. This really helps me collect all the compost, make sure that the compost is staying on the row and not spreading out. Oh, class is over. The bell doesn't excuse you, I do. Remember that, John? I feel as though it keeps my row a lot more true and not constantly spreading out. You still do need to come through here every once in a while and resculpt them, but it does help. If I had the space and I was on the 50-foot row, I don't know, maybe a BCS would be better faster. I don't know, I'm not sure. I feel like this is pretty damn fast, man. Although I am still expending my body, but you're expending your body using the BCS too. Honestly, guys, dude, this is way easier. We're done. So yeah, man, definitely a better way for me. I mean, I do still like to just use the weed whacker. It just makes it that much easier for me. If you want to see examples of this, I actually did it on Instagram. I wanted to actually do it this way on Instagram, but I decided to go whatever. You can check it out on Instagram. This is for direct seeded crops. I'm assuming that it could work just as well in a lettuce crop as well. Maybe not, depending on the type of weed whacker that you have. Probably even easier. I mean, but for me here, to pull these things up one by one isn't really that big of a deal to me. Yeah, at least not yet. So anyway, I approve this one. This is dope. I got both of these things done in about 12 minutes using this and this. Pretty much what I always just use anyway, but like I said, now I'm not bending over at all. Hell yeah. And getting done a lot faster. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just leave these on open before I seed them out. Let the mockingbirds come on down and dine on the worms and bugs and stuff down here. I need to get out this nut grass down here too. That stuff was just like, what? I don't even care. A week? Please, give me a break. That's all you're gonna cover me for is a week? It was just vibrant. Anyway, I'm gonna go in here and get this nut grass out, and then I will talk to you guys later, man. Hope this helps. Peace.